my bug. Suck my bug.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Ladies and the gentleman and all forms of life, welcome back to another edition
Suck my bug.
of SMB, a SouthPark review. And we're back. We got a whole litany of things to cover. One might say we have a list of things to cover. But I digress. As you are probably hitting play, maybe for the first time, or maybe for your 200th time. Maybe you listen to it, like maybe listen to an episode 40 times over and over. I don't know. But
you should.
If you do, and if you have, we welcome you back and we appreciate you as we are humbled by your download, as well as we are very happy to report that you have definitely given us a lot of exposure on our social media outlets. As recently, even over the weekend, our Instagram blew up again as the clip that we had put out about a week ago that had gotten to 120,000 views is now at 389,000.
Woo, baby! It's WrestleMania size, y'all!
The best is the comments in regards to the end of my clip where it zooms in on Cartman's cock and balls. And the comments are just great. People that are pissed off about like the zoom in effect. And I was like, gotcha. Engagement. So thank you for the engagement. Thank you if you're just checking us out for the very first time, or if you've been a loyal listener. We, of course, appreciate you. Well, I am not alone, though. Each and every week, I'm joined by the man who brings the pain in the digital marketing game. He's the guy that gets those clicks after soliciting some pics, some videos, some quick takes. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also a promoter, a writer, a booker, and director. Derby City Championship Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Dane. Becker.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. As always, the homosexuals bring all the one eyes, and I am here today with one eye. One eye. If you're watching this visually, you're wondering, why am I wearing an eye patch? Is it for the gimmick or is it for the show? It's for neither. It's because a bacterial infection rooted its way into my cornea, and I almost lost my sight in my left eye, but now I stand before you.
So I have a question. You put the eye patch over the glasses? Is that what you did?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. Not normally. No, I only did it for this podcast because then I would have to have hold my glasses on.
Gosh.
I almost got a strap for my glasses, but then I didn't want to be a 70-year-old church-going woman.
That's fair.
What?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our other third co-host here, this man is a doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, polyphonics. He is your 2022 Red Rocks South Park Day 1 Trivia Champion. He's pointing to his QVS headphones that he won, ladies and gentlemen, by Bose. He is affectionately known here as a trivia god. Joe Vernola from Primo's Pro Wrestling. What's up, Joe?
Not a whole hell of a lot.
Just hanging out with a bunch of dudes who like to watch other men get all oiled up in their underwear. So there you go.
Something like that.
Like that.
Not talking about wrestling.
Oh, whoa. So if you didn't listen to last week's episode when we reviewed Guitar Queero, I made the statement that Dane gave us permission to say the word. Now, I went back, and apparently we've been censored.
They got the card, yeah.
We've been censored. It was censored. The beeps were inserted. I put them in. In fact, I put them in over mine. And then just for fun, Joe never said it, but I bleeped him too because I thought it was funny. So go back and check out Guitar Queero, where we censor ourselves because we're not gay. And according to the rules of Mr. Garrison, can't say it. Hey, they're shitty, you know. Anyway, we're back though. Guys.
We are.
Full studio here in podcast form as I'm Matthew Schaffer here, and we're going to talk about The List. Today it is the season 11 finale, And it's also kind of a big number. I mean, people might say it isn't, but I think it is. This is episode number 170 for us, boys.
It doesn't feel like it, but my God, we have reached the mountaintop.
I mean, some guys, some girls, some pods don't even make it past 10 episodes, So here we are.
I know. They get the beefcake, and I guess they just drop out.
The List is the 14th and final episode of season 11, and it is the 167th overall episode of South Park, SMB number 170. Now, South Park's version, 167, aired on November the 14th, 2007. Here's a bit of a synopsis for ya. The girls in the 4th grade class have made a secret list that rates every boy's looks from cutest to ugliest. Which this, of course, intrigues the boys, so they then steal the list, but they are completely unprepared to deal with the results of the list.
So episode 1114 originally aired on 1114.
Good.
That's fucking great.
Good call out there, Mr. Vernola trivia guy. He, of course, was all over it. Now, this episode starts, as we mentioned, with the Butters and the boys in the lunchroom. And Butters essentially tells them, hey, I heard from my friend who heard from my friend, blah, 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 blah. Telephone, right? That the girls have created a list in which they rate the boys from cutest to ugliest. This, of course, initially...
It's not dick size no more.
Well, have we gotten to dick size yet?
Oh, no. The boys will be graded later on.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten to dick size.
Oh, my
This is the
God.
first list. This is the first of the list for Eric.
The pain Cartman will have to endure.
You can't just go putting the shit up on the wall like that, blowing up my spot.
That's right.
You mean
That's
your
right,
height
kids.
differentials?
The yaw.
The yaw. Yeah, we haven't gotten to the yaw yet. So
What's a penis?
What's a penis? Penis is what we are talking about here. So in this case, the boys right away are, of course, offended. Even Cartman, they can't do that. They're all pissed. And so they, of course, then demand in the corridor to Bebe to give them the list. Bebe explains that the list is handled by the list keeper Nelly and that Nelly would never give it to them. And then she blows a raspberry and storms off. This begins one of my favorite moments in this episode as Cartman in turn blows a raspberry back, flips her off hatefully, calls her a bitch, and then the boys are kind of left by themselves. So we're going to show this clip before I imitate it because Cartman does it oh so nicely. Thank you, baby.
All right, baby, let's see the list.
What?
You know what I'm talking about, bitch? The list where you rate the looks of each boy in the class.
That's not for boys to look at. It's a secret girl list, and you can't see it.
Craig is on the bottom, right? Or is it Kenny because you'd be eating Pop-Tarts for dinner if you married him?
Greg is definitely not on the bottom.
Telling. And anyway, I'm not the list
In any
keeper.
way.
Nelly is. And Nelly will never let you look at it. So there.
Fuck you, baby! Fuck you, bitch!
Well,
love
I
it.
guess we're never going
Cartman's
to get
anger
that list from the
issues
girls.
just pop. Butters.
Thank you, baby. You fucking bitch.
Cartman,
That's not
man,
anger
control.
issues. That's not anger issues. That's instant venting, and then he's over it.
That's true.
Joe, I'd hate to break it to you, but that's an anger issue. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Joe, but that's a part of anger management.
Son of a fuck.
There it is. There it is. Shut the fuck up, Nate. All right, I'm cool.
In his basement following this, Cartman now devises a plan called Operation Cannot Possibly Fail to get the list. So here's the list. He says and lays it out that Craig will provide a distraction by honking a horn in front of Nelly. Thus, this will allow Butters to run up and kick Nelly in the balls. But then they find out that girls don't have balls.
A shocking discovery, especially for Cartman, who still later on many seasons thinks that girls have balls.
That's true, he does. Lady bows. All right, here's the plan. Nelly's now walking down with, apparently she's got the list in her binder. She just walks around with it like a nuke. There's the horn. Butters kicks her in the nuts. Or no nuts, I'm sorry.
What'd you do that for?
Kicked me right in the pussy.
Hey, what's your
Yeah.
problem, asshole?
I love how he like
Bail,
sticks
bail.
his tongue out.
Bail.
Okay, our mission failed, but we've learned a lot. Primarily that girls do not have balls.
They sure don't.
They sure
doesn't
don't.
set in. Poor fuck. Apparently, Butters' kicks was so unoffensive to her that she
Look at him,
just
he's got a
stood
black eye, and
Yeah.
he's got like a dislocated arm, you'd have to imagine, or shoulder or something.
He got fucked up.
Yeah, it's got to be an elbow if it's at that angle.
Poor Butters. They sure don't. All right, so here's Operation Cannot Possibly Fail a second time. This time, Kenny McCormick is going to jump in front of Nellie and spit on the ground when she leaves the cafeteria for recess. This will allow enough distraction for them to gain the list. They do get the list, and they run through the hall. As the plan is a success, Kenny, Cartman, Butters, and Craig dash down the hallway while the list waving in Kenny's hands. The other boys pursue the four of them, who are then pursued by the now incredibly angered Nellie. Give that back, she yells out. However, she is not able to catch up with them as the boys get into the boys' bathroom and avoid the girls. They tape it to the wall.
Yeah.
Boys then view the list, and then they view it from order from first to last. Before we get there, though, I want to go to Operation possibly Part 2. Dane, did you have something to say, though?
No.
Okay, you look like you might be intrigued.
Was I raising my hand? Excuse me.
Maybe Jay has an idea.
We got it! We got it! We got the list from the girls. Get
Music in the
that
background.
dirty buttholes!
Hey,
Tape it to the wall, Kenny. Jason, watch the door. Let me hurry, get it out there. Let's see it. What's it say? Where am I? What number am I on?
all right, before we
Oh
get
my.
to the list reveal, there was one thing I forgot to mention at the top of the episode that I guess I didn't write down here. The one person here who's basically against the whole idea of the list has been Kyle. Right from the onset, he was like, why do we care what the girls think of us? Of course, Kyle has been known to show late stages of puberty or no puberty at all. I don't know. We've gotten instances where he, in the past, Bebe was into Kyle, right? She liked his Jewish butt when they played Truth or Dare in the Treehouse episodes. And then later on, Kyle dated the homeschool girl who turned into a slut. And then, of course, in the later seasons, Kyle is going to steal Cartman's girlfriend, Wendy. Not Wendy, I'm sorry, not Wendy. Whatever her name is. Heidi. There you go. I forget the advertisement. He's going to steal her. So, it'll be interesting to see. It's interesting here to see that Kyle kind of goes back and forth on this moral standpoint of caring but not really caring. And he definitely didn't care at the beginning of the episode. But then this list is revealed, and unfortunately for Kyle, it's not going to turn out the best for him. Here's the list in order from cutest to ugliest. It starts with Clyde, followed by Tolkien, Stan, Bradley, Jason White.
Oh, fuck that.
That's who it is.
Jason White is a cheat. That
is the White.
That man has had a fucked up hairline since he was
Dies.
out of the womb.
He's going to die later. Leroy, which is one of the kids from That's Guy. We're Guy.
Oh, well, God, they really did. They gimmicked the fuck out of this list.
Kenny, Tweak, Kevin, which is Kevin Stoley, Jimmy, Butters, Craig, Tama, Francis, which I don't know who that is, to be quite honest.
Francis.
That's the only. Let me click on it here. Who's Francis? Let me just zoom in. Francis. Oh, I guess he's a fourth grader. He was in one episode prior to this in the Tom's Rhinoplasty episode.
He's the kid with the snacky s'more
Yeah,
shirt.
it's the Snacky S'more shirt. Okay, well, the Snacky S'more shirt got rated up pretty high. And
And
then
the march
Au revoir.
of war.
Hey, boss, thanks,
Au
boss.
revoir.
And then finally, the final two, Cartman and Kyle, which Cartman then, of course, is quick to mention that Kyle's at the bottom, allowing Kyle to look at the list while Eric taunts him. Kyle previously, of course, was indifferent about the list, now stands alone in the bathroom, slowly becoming very self-aware about his appearance. And I want to show this part because the cartoon imagery here that they show of the wide angle shot of it panning out into three different angles here from I guess the terminology would be you'd have a close-up, right? And then you'd have your mid-angle, your mid-wide shot, and then your very wide shot.
Yeah.
So that's basically, and it's a really good from an animation standpoint, especially at this point in time and juncture in South Park, right? We talked about a couple episodes when they're kind of breaking that fourth wall where kind of looks like, they're either the animation kind of turns into the paper, whereas in this you kind of get more of a larger aspect of their creative details here in the picture. I mean, that's got to be tough to like draw something like that and then just continue. Well, they probably drew it bigger. Never mind. I'm making stupid notions here. They probably drew it big and then zoomed in. Okay, here we go. So here's the list.
What? That's bullcrap. Woohoo!
Annie's number 7.
Oh, so big deal, guys. You feel better now? Clyde's the
By the
best
way,
looking
Butters
kid
was
in the
number
class.
11.
And then Token
She's
and Stan.
stoked on.
And last is Francis, Cartman, and...
Cartman's face though in the corner. Watch just the way his eyes and mouth change here.
He's
You're
so
nasty.
stoked.
Yeah, dude.
No way.
Yes, Wade, check it out.
Cartman, lay off. You're next to last.
So,
You
I'm
get
hotter
it,
than
dude.
Kyle. I'm better looking than Kyle. Yes, I'm hotter than Kyle. I'm hotter than Kyle.
I'm last? Last? Dude, it's just a stupid list, remember? I got voted the ugliest boy in the
That's
whole
the guy
class.
with number 3, Stan.
Who cares what dumb girls think, right?
Poor Kyle. I would have been the same way. Crushed.
Yeah, this part's cool here. Like I was talking about the animation. Boom. 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 That's awesome, dude. Just that shot right there.
My God.
I love that. I don't know. Just
And the Oscar goes to...
detail they put into it here. It really makes you feel like you're in the bathroom there with Kyle. I
don't want to be in the bathroom there with
Well,
Kyle.
you probably do.
TC principal, is this is Butters' underwear?
All right. So now after school, Butters runs home to tell his mother and father that he's number 11, as we mentioned. And his father, of course, replies, "Good for you." And then states, "Well, I guess we don't have to ground him now." Which... I guess if he had come home and told him anything, like they're looking for a reason to ground Butters. Butters could have came
day.
home and been like, "I fell down and scraped my knee. You're grounded, mister.
Well,
Don't you ever fall down."
I always took it as being implied that if they had found he was the ugliest in class, it would have been, "You're the ugly, you're grounded, young," And then it would have been the grounding, but because he's better looking than 5 boys, which is like, a third of the class, they don't have to ground him.
Yeah, it's just interesting, like, that they're prepared, though, to ground him, like, for any little thing.
Always. They're
Oh,
always.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
always.
'Cause Butters could have come home and said anything, or he didn't even have to come home and tell them that he was number 11, right? I mean...
Right? Well...
Mom, Dad, I
They-
have $1,000 to give you. Where'd you get this, young man? You're grounded.
They just didn't find the rice-a-roni in the nest quick enough.
Okay.
Tears up the whole pantry. God damn that family.
Tell me why there's... Okay.
No wonder he grows up to sell NFTs.
You're right. If you believe in NFTs and I believe in NFTs, and then we can make them believe in NFTs, and we're going to make a whole lot of fucking money. So here is Butters running home now to tell his mommy and daddy, "Hey guys, I'm number 11. I'm not the ugliest guy. I'm not the ugliest thing in school."
Yeah,
Mom, Dad, I'm not the ugliest kid in the class. Kyle Broflovsky is.
same.
Well, good for you, Butters.
Way to go, champ. Whoopee!
Way to go, champ.
Well, guess we don't have
He
to ground
like
him.
flies off.
He's all excited. Like it's an
He
accomplishment.
really is. He really is.
Did you see him running around like Al Gore taking off though?
Excelsior, right?
Yes.
Excelsior.
Everyone's gonna be super stoked. on
Super
me.
stoked on
Super
me.
stoked on me. All right.
Oh my God.
We're going to play a little bit of this next dinner scene here as Kyle's eating dinner with his family. His mother questions him on his somber mood, to which Kyle explains what happened at school. She says it's ridiculous, claiming that, he has his father's looks, Gerald Broflovsky. And then they show Gerald, and Kyle then screams, "Oh my God," as he's horrified. And Gerald even goes, "Well, you have your mother's nose." And that, of course, horrifies him some more. "The least you could have done is told me," he says. Now, of course, then he looks over at Ike, and he says, "Ike, you need to give me an unbiased opinion. Am I ugly?" And Ike just doesn't respond.
I mean, how could you? I guess.
And then he storms off as he's upset, and then he tries to go to sleep. So here is the part of that dinner scene where Kyle asks Ike about if he's ugly or not.
Kyle, you are very handsome and perfect in every way.
Ike, you have to be honest. Am I ugly, yes or no?
Dude, he
just
looks at them, and then he looks
He
back.
breaks fourth
You
wall.
all think I'm ugly. Jesus Christ, the least you could have done is told me.
Kyle, come back here.
All right. So now Kyle's going to go to bed. But before we get to the next scene, because the next scene is good, the next part of the story. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. So, okay, here's what happens. Kyle is sleeping, or he's trying to sleep, and all of a sudden, Kyle is disrupted by Cartman, who appears at the window, boasting of him being more attractive. Hey, guys! I'm better looking than you. Kyle tries to, draw his blinds and go to sleep, but Cartman continues on. So I do want to show that really quickly. I wanted to introduce it before we show here, but it is another funny Cartman scene.
I'm better looking than you.
Oh, God.
The girls think I'm better looking than you, Cal. Dude, Cal, can you hear me? They totally think I'm hotter than you are.
And he keeps
Cal,
moving,
I'm
so
attractive.
like
Cal,
He's always there. Oh, God, Clyde.
Oh, we'll get
and then
right
Clyde's like, "What's up?"
Right, so that's the next scene, exactly. So now we jump over to Clyde's house, and Clyde's in his bedroom, and his mother tells him it's time for him to go to bed, but he's all like posing and looking attractive. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on?
What's
What's going on? Right?
Practicing. He's practicing.
He's practicing. So that's what he does in the next scene is he's in school doing the same thing to girls. Hey, what's going on? Kyle's, of course, walking through the corridor, and he's upset. Clyde tells him, hey, look, dude, Abraham Lincoln was ugly, but he accomplished a lot.
In
fact, so much so, Abraham Lincoln was a professional wrestler. Look it up. Very, very fun fact about Abraham Lincoln.
He's the big buck of this lick.
That's right. So Clyde walks off, butters, and runs up and tells Kyle, you're ugly, pizza face, makes fun of him.
Yep.
Clyde says, dude, come on. You can't make fun of Kyle that way. It's not his fault, as they run off.
Yep.
Cartman then walks up to Kyle and tells him that he believes maybe he should hang out with the ugly kids, so that way he wouldn't stand out as much. Cute. And then they jump over to lunch now with Kyle sitting with the ugly kids, which of course the ugly kids are drawn incredibly hideous with odd traits, which kind of makes him stand out even more than before.
It's like anyone on that show drawn with any kind of detail, that detail is usually not flattering.
Not flat. Buckle up, buckaroos.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
The unborn conjoined fetus, it was like so detailed.
You got the strength. You got the courage.
That's so
With the
good.
dead fetus on your head. Carry on. You fight for tomorrow. Dead fetus and no, you'll never let go. You're my conjoined twin fetus thing hanging off my head, woman. Sorry, I'll have to really edit that out too.
It's all right. The audience knows Matt Schaefer today is feeling a little musical.
That's a clip. You can go check that out on our TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. I love that song. It's a funny song. Okay. Let's go to the lunchroom now before I forget where we are on the review of this episode.
He's just starting to sit down with the ugly kids.
He's in the ugly kids. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Hey.
And they're really ugly.
Hello.
Except for this one kid right here. I don't know if he's that ugly. He looks like he just hasn't slept a lot.
Are you going to
He could probably straighten up older
Right,
age.
you know what I mean? He could put some
Like he could
foundation.
clean up well.
Yeah, he could put some good foundation and just close his mouth. Maybe do his hair.
That might be overbite.
This one though, and all the way to the left too, the other guy that kind of looks like I don't know. Here, let me go back.
It's like they're more than ugly too. It's like there's something fucking wrong with them.
Are you going to eat your
Yeah.
Are you going to age her?
Maybe it's like self-imposed antisocial behavior.
This
for
kid
being
right here,
at the
he's
ugly
not that
table.
bad looking either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got like these chin stuff here and a weird mouth, but other than that,
yeah, he's just got, and like the cheek lines, I think, are supposed to make him look like a little skinnier. Or something.
like he's got his face
He's
shrunken or something
gone.
like that.
Yeah.
Or a little malnourished, something like that.
Other than that, though, the other kids are ugly as demons.
Oh
Ugly
yeah,
as
that
demons.
that nearsighted girl is gonna have a hard
nearsighted
life.
girl. This kid's barely got a nose. Okay, and
of unknown person of color origin. Like, is he an islander? Is he Spain?
This girl freaks me out. Like, she looks like she's gonna become a serial killer when she gets older, or she's gonna be a home.
She's gonna have 3 kids and then drown them in a bathtub.
Or she's gonna live in a trailer and her career is gonna be a caregiver. That's what I was looking for. The word. She's gonna.
Yeah.
That's a cat lady right there.
What'd you say, Joe?
That's a cat lady right there.
That's a cat lady right there. Okay, that's
Already, she eats them.
She's
Whoa!
She's gonna Dahmer the cats.
Whoa!
Don't fuck with cats.
Back with the Humane Society again, Catherine.
Meanwhile, it's South
we are now PETA's favorite podcast.
Hey, you know it, boys.
Because we kill just as many animals as they do.
Got
95%.
Joe Vernola, trivia god, hitting him with the facts once again.
Exactly. Vote or die, motherfucker. Vote or die. I like you vote, bitch. Shake them titties when you vote, bitch.
There you go, Matt. God damn it.
Seriously, look it up. Fuck PETA. They kill more animals.
Your mouth roof. Now get your big ass in that pole booth. I said vote, bitch. Or I'll fucking
Vote or die, motherfucker.
Vote or die. Can't run from. Okay, anyway. Discovering that Kyle has become dejected as he sees Kyle on the playground upset, Stan goes to Wendy and asks if they can talk. The girls are like, you think he's gonna like beg for her to take it back? So they walk off, and Wendy comments that it's a nice surprise, seeing that, of course, she thought he would never talk to her again. Now, if you don't recall, Stan was not talking to Wendy after Wendy broke up with him, and then chose to go, start dating Tolkien. Now, of course...
Immediately after.
Now, of course, in Tolkien's case, because at the time Stan and Tolkien are not close buds, you can't really fault Tolkien. So you never see Stan. He even says, "Hey, Wendy, you're a bitch." Tolkien, right here, buddy. That's all he says. Right here, buddy. That's not really that bad. Right here, buddy.
Perfect catharsis for that. Absolutely. Good job.
Like, here's my dick right here, buddy. Like, that's what you're touching.
That's how you have to do. That's what you have to do.
But, of course, he wasn't really that upset. He got over it. And it clearly looks like here, based on where we're seeing this in the season of 11 finale, it doesn't look like Tolkien and Wendy are dating anymore.
Well, personally, I didn't vote him the ugliest. My vote was for Eric Cartman, but enough of the other girls must have thought that
So it wasn't unanimous. Maybe you can just change the list.
Change the list? Do you have any idea what that would take? Maybe you don't understand how important list making is to girls. It's not just something we do flippantly. There's protocol.
Can't we just talk to all the girls who made the list and find out why they voted Kyle last?
Yeah.
All right. I'll try and get you into our next list making meeting, but it won't be easy.
It's not going to be easy, boys.
I don't believe so.
All right, so we jump into the meeting now. So in the meeting hall, the girls are holding a meeting. Bebe's in charge with Lola as the black-haired girl as the next in charge. The girls discuss who has the cutest purse. Wendy then questions if they can open the previous week's list. Stan then takes the floor, talks about it, but Bebe says no list is made hastily. Wendy says that he was only asking for it to be open for debate. Bebe says that she cannot do so or by Sparkle law.
That shit does not sparkle with
Sunshine. It did not sparkle with her or sunshine. But she says that if Wendy can bring forward cause to reopen the case, basically, if she can supply evidence, and she says this in front of everybody to save face, then she'll reopen the case. So this is now Wendy and Stan's journey. Can they figure out what's going on? While that's going on, Kyle, of course, still in despair about his looks, lies in bed, flicking a lighter on and off, as his friend had kind of given him the idea that he might, maybe we should burn the school down. And then suddenly, though, the ghost of Abraham Lincoln appears, and he takes him on a journey. around town. Now, I initially thought this was going to be about the time Butters almost got kidnapped by the ghost of Christmas past. He was trying to rape him, you know what I mean? But this guy actually never tries to rape Kyle. It really was ghost of Abraham Lincoln. So Abraham Lincoln shows up and he kind of takes him through the different gamut. You know, here's a this is your life type scenario, right? Here's a hot chick who was hot all her life, but unfortunately, by the time she reached the age of 40, she realized all she was hot. Now she's not hot anymore, so she's stupid. She's as dumb as a box of pins, and she had used to get everything handed to her. Now let's go to your friend here. Your friend, he's Yamal. He has to work hard for the rest of his life because he's not good looking. And because of that, he's not key. Because of that, he's going to build character, which is something that attractive people rarely get. Kyle explains, though, of course, that he does not want to wait until he's an adult to be happy. And Abraham Lincoln says, you have to be patient. And then Kyle's like, you know what? Just take me home. And Abraham's like, what? No, just take me home. So he takes him home. He tries to give him one more last piece of advice. And Kyle's like, I'm sick and tired of anyone telling me what to do. And Abraham Lincoln's like, well, you're just a little douchebag or a little fucker or whatever he says here. We're going to play the clip. And he drives off. So let's go to the ghost of Abraham Lincoln trying to give wise words. Yeah.
I want you to look in here. This woman is Nancy Pinkerton. As a child, she was consistently voted the most beautiful girl in her entire school. Her life as a youth was filled with praises and everything being handed to her. Boys told her she was special, she was funny, she was interesting.
That's how it happens.
And then we jump to Yamal, like we mentioned.
Yamal. Because he's ugly, he gets nothing handed to him. He has to work at making something of himself. But that work is going.
And then here's Kyle, and there's Clyde. Oh, I forgot about Clyde.
Now that he knows he's good looking, he doesn't have to make any effort to be special.
No, Rebecca's just a friend. I want to be with you now.
What do you do?
Sure, yeah, I'll buy you some shoes too.
Now his life will be about girls. Chatting with them on the phone and
then, of course, as we mentioned,
buying them shoes.
You have to wait. And then Kyle says,
and so you see,
take me home, which is kind of funny.
An adult to be happy? That's forever from now.
You must be patient.
Just take me home.
Take me home.
I don't want to be here anymore. Take me home.
Very well.
I like how he drives a car, though. I thought this was funny.
It's a fucking old
Kyle,
Civic.
you need to think about what I've told you.
I don't want to. I don't want anybody telling me how to feel anymore.
Well, then you're just a fucking asshole.
The fucking asshole. And that's how that scene ends. With Kyle being an asshole. All right, so now we jump back over to Wendy's house, and the saga continues with Stan and Wendy looking to figure out what happened. Wendy discovers that some of the girls actually only gave Clyde a rating of 1 sparkle, which Stan, of course, goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. And Wendy tells him that Rebecca could have made a mistake when tallying the votes onto the final list. Because if, half the girls only gave Clyde 1 star, how did he end up being the cutest boy?
Dun, dun, dun.
So Wendy and Stan pay a visit to Rebecca. But Wendy explains her theory, and then all of a sudden Rebecca snaps. She warns Wendy to keep out because she's getting close to a secret that she maybe can't handle. Tells Wendy, let it go. And then with that, she backs into the door and disappears. Shocked at realizing this, though, Stan remarks, that didn't sparkle with her, huh?
It did not.
Not at all.
So here's that interaction between Wendy and Rebecca.
The list that rated the boys' looks? Oh, Wendy, we're done with that list. I know, but I think there's been a mistake. 6 of the girls I've talked to didn't vote Clyde the cutest. That means that mathematically he should have been.
All right, you need to stop digging around, Wendy.
You might not like what you find. Just back off and stop asking questions. You're getting close to a secret that I don't think you can handle. Let it go.
Whoa.
And see
That didn't
if
sparkle
any
with her, did it?
Go ahead.
and see if any of the girls know Wendy, like they think they know Wendy, they would have known telling her some shit like that would more or less like just egg her on, like, oh well, now I gotta find that shit.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Like, why, in fact, would you challenge one of the smartest girls in school to not continue her pursuit? Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. Good point, Joe. Good call out. All right, so now we're over at the True Value Hardware. Kyle is buying a bunch of items here to burn down school. We're going to show a quick couple moments here of that.
Gallons of high-octane kerosene and a box of matches. Okay, is that everything, little boy?
That should just about do it.
Would you like to put this on your True Value card today?
Yeah, this guy doesn't even
right
suspect.
And toilet paper.
And
toilet paper.
He's also like, which will, I don't know if we haven't gotten to that yet. That won't be till. No, we did go to it. I'm sorry. Season 8.
Yeah, that's season 8.
Yeah, you're going. You already know where I was going with it too. With the doctor, with season 8, exactly.
So close.
So close. Cheesing. Cough syrup. So now returning to the meeting hall, Wendy shows Lola and Jenny a report that she has made, which shows no one voted Clyde the cutest.
My God.
Lola informs, though, Wendy that Clyde's father owns a shoe shop and that now the list has been altered and made him the popular one so that girls could have a reason and justification for dating Clyde and therefore get free shoes. So it sounds like one by one they're going to date Clyde, break up with him, and then they continue to then rotate out so they can get their own pair of shoes. They're using Clyde for shoes. Is what happened here.
Shoes.
So Wendy threatens to tell Bebe about this, and of course, then one of them is like, "Who do you?" Jenny Simmons goes, "Who do you think authorized the buyout?" And then the girls question, of course, who are they going to believe, her or the heads of the committee? They'll just make a new list, the biggest liar list, and they'll put Wendy right at the top. Lola then tells Wendy to do herself a favor and keep her little mouth shut. And then Wendy kicks her right in the pussy. And
Precisely.
runs off with the list with Stan going, Jesus Christ, dude. Stan was not prepared for what was about to go down at that meeting.
That's why we had to manipulate the votes, forge a new list, and hide the real one.
Hide the real one.
So that you all could justify dating Clyde and get shoes? How dare you take advantage of your position?
How dare
I'm gonna tell Bebe and have you both disbarred from the list committee.
Hard.
Oh.
Bebe, who do you think authorized the buyout?
No.
No, not Bebe.
Maybe.
She's dating Clyde now.
Goes all the way to the
loves
top.
shoes more than her.
Nobody loves shoes by the hair.
What's going on? When the other girls
still
find out
doesn't
you ignored their votes, you really think they'll believe you over the heads of the committee? We'll simply generate a new list. Biggest liars. And put you at the top. Do yourself a favor, Wendy. Just let it go and keep your little mouth shut. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Kick her in the twat.
Kicked her right in the pussy. As we've
You
learned,
saw Jesus, dude.
I don't know if you could say that word. Soraya was just banned from saying twat on AEW from last Wednesday night.
You said it twice now.
Well,
My
Joe said
God.
I said twat.
Well, you know.
It's a totally different thing.
Damn it. We're all banned from AEW wrestling.
We're all banned from AEW, but damn it, I went to 3 shows too. So following this, Stan and Wendy run off looking for Kyle. They knock on Yamal's door, who informs them that he's at school. He's going to burn the school down. He's going to burn the whole school to the ground. So now, arriving just in time, though, before Kyle can ignite the flame, Stan and Wendy tell Kyle that the list was forged, and a traitorous Bebe then shows up afterwards and points a gun at Wendy, telling her all about how great the shoes are, and which Wendy, of course, even becomes temporarily mesmerized, by it, like, oh my God, is that a lace across the top? And then Wendy snaps back and informs Bebe that she has contacted the police, and they know all about the scandal. Baby goes, yeah, right. But then all of a sudden, the police show up, and they're like, we have you surrounded, baby. We know about the list. We know you compromised the list. Clyde is not the hottest guy in the class, and Kyle Broflowski is not the ugliest kid in school.
Come out quietly, baby. So be fine.
All of a sudden, Bebe and Wendy start grappling after Wendy attacks her, and then a bullet gets fired, and then all of a sudden, we think that Wendy or Bebe have been shot, but they get up and They remove their hands from their breasts, and there's got no wounds. Baby removes her hand from her stomach. There's no wound, and then they stare around, and all of a sudden, we then go over to Kenny's house, and Kenny's sitting down, and as Cartman pointed out at the beginning of the episode, he's waiting for his Pop-Tarts to pop up, and he gets shot in the head and dies, and it was just so apropos, though, about Cartman. No one's gonna want it's Kenny, right? Because no one's gonna want to eat Pop-Tarts for dinner. So let's go to that scene here. And it's, of course, it's been a while since we've seen Kenny die, so I just thought I'd show that here.
Oh no! Oh please, you're lying!
She's got the Macy's bag.
Right?
Give it up, baby.
Give it up, baby.
We know all about it. The list was compromised. Kyle Brosnowski's not the ugliest boy in the class.
Here's baby.
Damn! Boxer! Get the gun, Wendy!
Dick fat!
Who got shot? Wendy? Baby? JR?
JR?
No.
Let me go over here. I'm going to pause it here.
Neither
What
of them.
happens.
It was.
So look, so there's, of course, Kenny eating cereal, and then as soon as the Pop-Tarts come out, there's the Pop-Tarts.
That's one of the best Kenny deaths in a while and completely unexpected.
Yeah, I think they let him go for a while, but then now it's just right out of nowhere.
See the animation in slow motion.
This is like watching the Zapruder film. Back and to the left.
Lord.
Back and to the left.
And the Pop-Tarts pop out. That's what get me is at the end is the Pop-Tarts. I was like,
and like his brother is just covered in brain and blood.
Right? Well, as we'll find out later, though, Kenny can be reborn because he's a part of a cult. So finally, the police arrest Bebe. It's unknown what happened to her after this. Stan tells Kyle he can finally see the true position on the list. Wendy burns it up. And Kyle's like, I don't really want to know, what my rating is because, Abraham Lincoln's right. And then Wendy tells Stan it's been great hanging out with him, that he seems to have changed. Stan says things have seemed to have changed. And then Wendy walks toward him, and they're about to kiss, but then just as the typical trope South Park fashion that we've had over countless episodes, Stan throws up in her face.
Yep.
And that is how we end the episode. So here is the final couple of 30 seconds here of the episode.
We've been through a lot, but you can finally see where you really are on the list.
I would have probably looked at that list.
I mean, yeah. Same.
You sure you're okay with this, Kyle?
Because
I'm
rubbing
sure.
Cartman's face.
Abe Lincoln was right. I don't want to find out I'm good looking and become a total shithead when I grow
Abe
up.
Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln?
Stan, it's been really great hanging out with you again. I feel like you've changed somehow, in a really awesome way.
Really awesome way.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of things
Closer.
change, don't they?
Closer. And
And that's how the episode ends.
tolerates it though. Okay, she knows.
Because she knows it means he likes her.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your full recap. We'll be right back on the other side after a quick word from our sponsors, provided by Spreaker. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apples, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review.
Chat GPT, bro. Chat GPT, bro.
ChatGPT, bro.
Chat GPT.
Which verified my theory, by the way.
That's right. We're welcome back on the other side. Joe Vernola, if you didn't check out our latest review on the Chat GPT Deep Learning review, Joe on the podcast said in relation to Cartman's anecdote about how women ruined slavery, Joe mentioned the fact that Cartman probably would cite and source Harriet Tubman running the Underground Railroad as the reason for slavery being ruined by women. According to a viewer here on our YouTube, he left a comment, which I, of course, left in the chat thread here, and his name I want to get correctly. His name is Cheeseburgers87. He says, "You nailed it. I just typed that in ChatGPT, and it totally cited the Underground Railroad." So there you go. Joe Vernola, once again, knows what he's talking about. Speaking of Joe Vernola knowing what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, this man is the 2022 South Park Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion. He is a trivia god. Joe Vernola. Joe, take us over some trivia. What happened in this episode?
Alrighty, this is the first time the cafeteria has been seen since Chef died. From this point onward, the cafeteria mostly serves as a way for the boys to learn of an episode's plot hook, typically from Butters or Cartman.
That's a good point. Ever since Chef passed away, we've never actually seen the lunch line anymore.
Yeah, we haven't. Despite being called by her current name and follow that, Red is referred to as Rebecca in this episode, like Erection Day, in which she was called Bertha. This is the only episode where she's called Rebecca.
Concentrate her, a little ag.
Some of the other lists seen in the background or discussed are Girls We Hate Most, Hip Hop and Country, Do's and Don'ts on a First Date, in which it says holding hands is all right, no kissing, and never pay for dinner. And Which Girl Has the Cutest Purse, Best Dressed, and Biggest Liars, which apparently they were getting ready to just revisit because of Wendy's little investigation. Clyde Donovan and Tolkien Black are one of the boys involved in Cartman's squad to contrive a plan to steal the list, And they are, however, seen attending to their daily routines when Cartman yells in his euphoric and triumphant way that they have the list. They might have given up believing the plan was trifle and doomed to failure. Contrary to popular belief, kicking or hitting a woman between the legs would hurt almost as much as hitting a man due to bones located around that area.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of nerve endings there, so I mean, I'd imagine it would hurt. Let's see. When Wendy,
can I kick you in the anyway?
What?
Go ahead.
No. Let's go back to the. God damn it. All right, we'll move on. When Wendy and Stan begin their conclave, wow, there's a lot of big words in this script today. Wendy says, "This is a nice surprise. I thought you were never speaking to me again." Although at the very start of the snook, it is seen that they have a pretty convenient dialogue with each other. Butters runs in the manner of Al Gore, which I called out earlier, after being praised for not being the ugliest kid in class. Excelsior! It is unknown how Abe Lincoln in ghost form drives a car, although it is possible that this is all a dream that Kyle is having. Kenny's death scene was foreshadowed in the episode when Cartman says that nobody would marry Kenny because they wouldn't want to have Pop-Tarts for dinner every night. As Kenny is being killed, what pops out of the toaster during dinner but a pair of Pop-Tarts? And starting with this season, meaning season 11, the box set DVDs and episodes on SouthParkStudios.com are now fully uncensored.
Nice.
I
was just going to show you here. I was just going to show here really quick. Here's a picture of the list, a mock picture. Somebody made a graphic of it. If you guys want to take a look at there, where they've got Stan,
that is a funny poster,
Kyle, and Wendy as the on the list. So yeah, I just wanted to show that here while you're still talking about it. Go ahead.
Yep. We did go over who is on the fake list earlier, but just again, real quick, Obviously, Clyde at the top. Tolkien number 2. Stan, Bradley, Jason, Leroy, Kenny, Tweak, Kevin, Jimmy, Butters, Craig, Timmy, Francis, Cartman, and Kyle.
So let me ask you a question, Joe. Do you believe that there might be an opportunity to figure out what the real list is?
Oh, I was going to say there were some nerds out there that figured it out. Some bigger nerds than I am.
Oh.
Which is pretty goddamn big.
Is this official?
There are... it's probably somewhat official. I mean, it's put together by users. It's probably a lot like the Zelda canon where it can change whenever the fuck Nintendo says it wants it to.
Gotcha.
Not that I'm angry about that or anything. Fuck you, Nintendo. But they've more or less... they've changed the Zelda canon a couple times and the order of things. Anyway, moving on. It's not quite official, but this is probably the best guess everyone can make. Craig is actually at number 1 on the list. Tolkien stays at number 2. Stan remains at number 3. 4 is Bradley. 5 is Kyle, which is the huge jump.
Okay, so basically Kyle got moved down all the way to last because they needed to bring Clyde up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because Clyde had so many 1-point votes that he would be buried on the list. It sounds like they used an MVP voting system when they said that Clyde got so many 1-point votes. I mean, well, that implies the existence of a 2, 3, 4, and 5 points.
Right.
But so Craig is number 1, Tolkien number 2, Stan 3, Bradley 4, Kyle is at 5, Jason 6, Leroy 7, Kenny 8, Jimmy 9, Tweak 10, Kevin 11. Basically, everyone from 6 on down moves up a spot, except Clyde, who drops to number 13, and Cartman drops a spot down to Cartman.
Number 16, right?
Yes, to number 16.
All right, so that's your trivia. Let me hit you with a couple of quick pop culture notes here. The scene where Stan and Wendy begin to kiss is similar to where Batman and Catwoman heated their relationship from the Batman episode Almost Got Him. Almost got him. It's weird how it's spelled, though. Kyle being visited by the ghost of Abraham Lincoln and shown the lives of attractive people in town, of course, is similar to the Christmas Carol. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Seen in the girls' list making room are posters of Orlando Bloom, Joe Jonas, Corbin Bleu from High School Musical. In Wendy's room, there are posters of Chris Brown and Cirque du Soleil. And Kenny was shot in the back of the head. This, of course, is the same thing that happened to Abraham Lincoln. A couple things about continuity from previous and maybe potential episodes. This is the last episode that features Mohammed in the opening credits.
Yeah, and he's been taken out since, I'm fairly certain.
It was mentioned in The Mystery of the Urinal Deuce that Clyde had a colonostomy at age 5, but in this episode when he examines himself, he appears normal. However, of course, it is possible his colonostomy was reversed. This marks the first time in 8 years since Stan has vomited on Wendy. The last time he did it was in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. So after season 3, he hadn't vomited on Wendy since. Stan and Wendy appear to get back together in this episode. They, as we mentioned, broke up in Raisins. Although their friendship is doomed in this episode, Wendy and Bebe become friends again in Breast Cancer Show Ever.
Such a good episode.
You guys didn't think I'm cute? Anyway.
The best.
The broken glass can be seen in Major Boobage, the broken glass from this episode can be seen in Major Boobage, which will be next season. And then Bebe Stevens kills Kenny for a second time. Although it was accidental, the first time was improper condom use. Just walk away. We need condoms fast. What, you want us to be unprotected and get diseases, you asshole? Bebe dates Clyde in this episode. She previously entered a relationship with him in clubhouses as well at the end of the episode. I dare you to, I don't know, something about Stan's pee hole. I think that's how the episode ended or something like that. Okay, here's the deleted ending. This is interesting. So in the deleted ending, the episode has an addition to the ending that was removed from the broadcast. After Stan vomits on Wendy, Kyle mentions that everyone will want to know who was really last on the list. And Wendy reveals, well, I guess we'll never know, except that I looked at it and it was Cartman. Cartman is then shown sitting with the ugly kids. Butters now makes fun of him by saying, "Hey, ugly bugly, did Adolf Hitler launch a Zeitkrieg across your face?" Cartman says it doesn't bother him.
Meaning he's got a lot of zits.
Right.
Did Zittler launch a Zeitkrieg?
Yeah, Cartman says it doesn't not bother him as long as he's a good person on the inside. He then realizes what he said, drops his head on the table, and it might have been removed from broadcast due to lack of time.
It is on the box set, though.
It is on the box set, and I believe I can play it right here. Let me pull it right up.
You know, I'm glad this is over. But I feel like everyone is gonna wish they knew who was really last on the list.
Well, I guess we'll never know. Except that I looked and it was Cartman.
This is bullcrap!
Hey, ugly bugly! Did Adolf Hitler launch a Zeitkrieg across your face?
Oh well, that's fine. What really matters is the kind of person I am on the inside. Oh, god damn it.
Why?
And then he takes his pickle.
Yeah, the kid takes his pickle again. It's so good.
All right, so that was your deleted ending there. Normally we don't have, a lot of that. But of course, as we mentioned, this is the first time Kenny had been killed since Best Friends Forever, including the World of Warcraft character dying twice in Make Love Not Warcraft. So that is your references to pop culture, your trivia, some continuity, your full recap, even a deleted ending. Joe, what'd you like about this episode?
There's the whole investigation part of it, and like how seriously the girls took all that shit, like one of those spy movies or thrillers like that were so big in the late 90s and around that time. Clyde's really funny throughout the whole episode.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Sorry, it's in the same time frame.
Yeah, it was. It was not the best by far, by any means, and like it's in terms of season enders, like it's really kind of weak, especially and this is using hindsight and everything, because in the future they start going really hard with their season enders. It's either a trilogy or something that like really, really sticks. And that's even before they went to the serialization. But it's a solid B.
Becker, what'd you think about this episode? You've been awfully little quiet this episode today, Patch.
I gotta go. I gotta go soon. I gotta take my eye drops and steroids and all of that good stuff. But what I liked about this episode is that it's more the movie style as they do in almost every episode. That's the best part about it. The gunplay, the whole thing about it being over shoes, the organization of the girls' club, which, later on we see that the girls are organized and amazing about everything, which is true in real life as well. But I think all that was the best. The worst parts of it, I don't really know. Some old resurgence into some other things and not much of a message at the end, just a nice, straightforward little storyline episode. There wasn't much B story either. I don't think there was any B story, honestly. You had the B story with Kyle, but it was just too attached and it was also very lightly played. There wasn't much of an arc. So other than that, no downsides. There's no bad South Park episode. I will stand by that. Even the Jack Officeors. One of my favorites. Fuck off. Love Pip. Yeah, I know. Actually, you know what? I agree with the sentiment on Pip, but I love fucking.
Well, then we can all at least agree that the best clip show. We can all agree that the episode from season 3, where it's just a clip show. Yeah, that's bad. Sticky situation. That's probably the stupidest episode of South Park. Anyway. Yeah. So what did I like about this episode? This episode made me laugh numerous occasions. From the beginning with Cartman going, "Fuck you, baby, you fucking bitch." Of course, to later when Cartman knocking on Kyle's window to boast about the fact that he was hotter than him. I, of course, found the council with the women, the girls, Sunshine, Sparkle. That whole scene was quite comedic as they kind of exaggerated how these girls create lists. But, as a young boy, I don't know, maybe we thought that's how it happened. I don't know. So that there was some good, comedy there. Overall, I like this episode. There wasn't much I disliked about the episode, but you are right now that you guys are kind of pointing out, it was kind of a weak ending for a season. They didn't really go out with a bang. But, in my opinion, I thought season 10's ending with Stanley's Cup was a weak ending too.
Such a down ending.
Yeah, so that was kind of a downer on that one. But on this one, they went out with kind of more of a high end, just where with Stan and Wendy throwing up, and it seems like they're getting back together. Joe, you look like you have something to say when I mentioned Stan.
Oh, no. I'm just...
Joe Vernella has something to say. No?
Nope.
Right.
We already know how I feel. I'm going to save my swearing tirade for when we stop recording, you stupid, dirty son of a bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. I, of course, am your host in the heat, and I can't be beat. I mean, guys, hi, where the air is dry, your boy, MS to the GGGGGG. You can follow us as a podcast by going to Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. All of our links are there. If you want to go directly, SouthParkPod on all outlets, SouthParkPods with an S on Twitter, and South Park Podcast on the Instagram. South Park Pod on TikTok as well. Check us out. Like, subscribe right here on YouTube. Let your mom, let your dad, let your brother, let your sister, let your aunt know that they can get a laugh if they hit that click. And every week we'll let them know about more South Park. The man who's running Derby City Championship Wrestling coming up on March 26th.
March 26th, DerbyCityWrestling.tv for tickets. We've got all of the stars. Danny Limelight. We've got Rico Bellagio. We've got Billy Starks, the hottest female free agent in wrestling today. March 26th at the Norton Sports Health and Learning Center, guys. Louisville, Kentucky, West End. Tickets start as low as $12. Your kids might even get in free. We've got food, we've got beverages, we've got entertainment, and we've got some of the best stars in WWE, AEW, Impact, and beyond. March 26th, DerbyCityWrestling.tv.
Hey, Dane, when you meet the Pope, can you ask him if that phone number he gave out on the Pro Wrestling Report when he was like 14, 15 years old, when I was 14, 15 years old, still works? Can you still call him and leave a message?
I will absolutely ask him that, and I will find the video of one of those, spots in the middle of a Raw, and I will fucking send him the screen.
That's what I'm talking about.
You remember this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a writer. This man is... I guess Dane really had to go. He said goodbye. This man is a writer. This man books shit. And this man is an announcer. But right here on this podcast, he is the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. He is a trivia god. Joe Vernilla, what's coming up this upcoming weekend? The second to last weekend right here in March.
Okay, we got Saturday, March 25th is the 8th annual Alpha 9 at the Mercury Events Center in Westminster, Colorado, just outside Denver. You can get those tickets right now on eventbrite.com. Damian Drake, Dragon Kid, Dante Leon, all kinds of motherfuckers lined up on that one. March 26th is going to be IWC Presents Indie Revolution Lucha Libre legend, the Juice, Juventud Guerrera, featured on the card.
The Juice will be loose.
Yes.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here on this week for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. Of course, it's always our pleasure to come back to you every week when you hit that like and subscribe button and download the podcast. We certainly do appreciate it. We're going to come back next week for the Season 12 premiere of South Park. And as Joe alluded to a couple episodes, well, we're going to find out what happens when somebody gets AIDS. We're going to find out what happens when Magic Johnson, how he cured himself from AIDS. And I'm pretty positive it's going to be a good episode. Joe, are you positive?
I'm not just positive. I'm HIV positive.